Hello, lovelies, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Lily. I am a 25-year-old zero-based cash budgeter and stuffer up in Maine, and I have been doing the budget by paycheck method of cash budgeting for 4 years now, and this system has provided me with the tools to pay down debt and to purchase the home that I live in now with my boyfriend and our 3 dogs. And we do all things budgeting over here, so if any of that sounds like content that may interest you, I would sincerely hope that you consider hitting that subscribe button and sending some support my way. But happy Money Monday, everyone. How are we doing? How are we feeling? Today, we are here to budget out my first paycheck for the month of August. I just realized that I did not highlight the main sections here, but also the budget, my spread might look a little bit different because this week in particular, oops, and I also forgot one down here. The income was on the lower side, so I just have a feeling, knowing kind of in my head what my budget might look like, that we're not going to be able to stuff the majority of my sinking funds or savings categories, so I just kind of left it on the minimal side, and we'll add if we need to. But if you are unfamiliar with the budget by paycheck method of cash budgeting, essentially at its core, the concept is you take the total amount of your bills for the month and you divide that number by the number of paychecks that you are planning on getting. And then each paycheck, you stuff that amount, or you set aside that much money. And then by the end of the month, you have the total amount due. So this month in particular of August, I only have 4 paychecks. That's typical, but a few times out of the year, there's an extra paycheck for the month, and we'll have 5. But this month we have 4. So the first thing I'm going to do is evaluate my income. Now, personally, I have 2 forms of income that come in on a weekly basis. I have a full-time job where I get $617, and then I also have a small business, my Etsy shop. It's linked in the description of every video if you guys are interested in checking it out. But from my Etsy shop, I have $121 coming in this week. So 617 plus 121 is $738. So that is our bulk total income. However, I do have some money that stays in the bank every week. $30 stays in the bank every single week. 20 of it goes into my Roth IRA through Charles Schwab just automatically, and 10 of it is automatically transferred into my Ally high yield savings account as a buffer for things like Christmas and unbudgeted things and whatever. So kind of I'll use that to kind of balance things out. Doesn't really matter. But that's $30, and then an additional $31 needs to be set out this particular week from the 5th to the 11th to cover auto drafts for subscriptions, memberships, things like that. I don't remember exactly which ones this week, but I think like my Amazon Prime and maybe a couple other things, not entirely sure, but I know that they add up to 31. So in total, we are leaving $61 in the bank out of this week's budget. So 738 minus 61 is $677, which is in turn our budgetable income. So before anything else, from my wallet, savings, anything like that, we are going to go right into my bills and my debt. Now, with this system, it is sort of imperative that you know your numbers, you know the total amount that you need by the end of the month for all of your bills, and you are able to account for all of your bills, not just monthly, but also long-term, quarterly, whatever, however your bills come out. So these are my bills, and we'll go through them quickly. So for my mortgage, now our mortgage actually went down by just a couple dollars. So instead of my portion being $423, it's actually $406 now. So not a huge difference, but it is what it is. So I need $406. We have 4 paychecks divided by 4. That is $101.50. So what I'm going to do personally, instead of dealing with change, I'm going to round that up to 102, and then we'll stuff 102 for the next few weeks. And then the last week of the month, we'll have a little bit extra, so we don't have to worry about it. My internet bill is $45 a month, divided by 4 is $11.25. So I will do $12, and again, overstuff until we can understuff. My electric bill varies, but personally, I like to try to stuff $240 a month, and then whatever's extra that over saved for what my bill ends up being, that is put into a buffer account in my high yield savings account specifically for electric payments. So 240 divided by 4 is $60. So again, a lot of your bills may have consistent the same amount every single month or quarter or every 6 months or whatever, but some of them are variable, such as heat or water and sewer or things like that. So in that case, I just kind of take the average of what my bills have typically been, and I add a little bit extra to it just in case, and then I save that amount. So for heat and water and sewer, these two are, of course, variable, and they are also are not a consistent monthly bill. When it comes to heat, my heat sources in my account in my house are pellets and oil, and right now we're in the summer months, so my boyfriend and I split those bills when they come, when we need to fill our oil tank or when we need to buy more bags of pellets. We just split those expenses. So personally, I'm just saving up over these summer months when we're not spending money on them in order to have my half of those bills. So I try to save $100 a month or $25 a week for that. Similarly with water and sewer, this is a quarterly bill. It comes every 3 months. It's typically around between $200 and $250, typically less than that, but it depends. So I try to save $100 a month in order to have about $300 by the time it comes, just in case. And then again, all that money goes into a buffer. So once again, 100 divided by 4 is $25. My phone bill is $60 divided by the 4 paychecks is $15 a week. Now my car insurance, again, this is every 6 months that I pay this one. And I did the math on my own. I know it's inconvenient for this type of video, but personally, I know that in order to have what I need by February of 2026, I need to stuff $25 a week. So $100 a month is what I need to get on track. It's not my monthly payment, but it will get me what I need. Now my pet insurance, we split it. We have 3 dogs, and my boyfriend and I split it. It's $100 total. We each pay $50. So divided by my 4 paychecks is $12.50. Again, I'm rounding that up to $13. Now, Washville is my car wash membership, and this is $30 a month. So divided by 4 paychecks is $7.50. So I stuff $8 a week. Now, again, a little bit different, but just to give you an idea if your budget looks somewhat similar, I guess. My car's registration, this is an annual bill. It's typically been around $175 to $200. Of course, if I spread that out over 12 months and 52 weeks, that would be very insignificant. 200 divided by 52, that would be $3.08. So I personally round that up to $5. So I stuff $5 a week every week until I feel like I have enough. This particular month, I did just buy a new car a few months ago. So once I renew the registration this month, I will have a better idea of how much it's going to be next year. So for now, I'm stuffing $5 a month. Now, my Discover It payment, I would rely on my debt paydown plan for this one. We made this payment, and this payment next month, so we were looking at August to September. Now, my Discover It bill that I planned for this month in a previous video, I have a whole debt playlist with all of my debt updates. I will link that right up in the cards for you guys. But this month, my plan is to budget $450. Now, with that being said, I only plan on doing $63 a week. So 63 times 4 will get me $252. So we're aiming for $250, and then $200 is going to come from my YouTube paycheck at the end of the month. So we're aiming for $250 technically in cash saved over the course of our 4 paychecks. So divided by 4, $250 divided by 4 is $62.50. So that is $63 a week. Now, my care credit is for my vet and medical expenses, and currently that balance is at 0, so we do not have to worry about stuffing that at all. For my car payment, my goal this month is $150 divided by 4 is $37.50, so $38 total. I know it's weird to say my goal. If you are unfamiliar with my particular budget, if you're new here, I'm paying my dad back for money that he lent me. I'm calling it a car payment because it was for car-related things. There's no interest and there's no set payment every month. I'm just paying him back in $500 increments when I have $500 saved. So this month in particular, I aim for $150. My student loans, combined my federal and personal loans, are $500 a month. Divided by my 4 paychecks is $125. Back to school, we are going to skip currently, because I will explain it later, but we're skipping that for now, but that's essentially me trying to save up for back to school related things. I'm currently re-enrolled in my university trying to complete my degree. And so this is half trying to cash flow college expenses and also student loans. Now, paying my brother back again, he lent me a little bit of money last year for a copay for a medical thing. This month in particular, my goal is to pay him $200. 100 of that is coming from my YouTube paycheck, so we are only aiming for $100 saved throughout the 4 paychecks. Divided by 4 is $25 a month. So let's find the total of all of this. 102. Oops, I did minus 12. Okay, I got $541 when that was all added up. So that is how much we're taking out of the $677 to go to bills. Before I figure out what's left, the next thing I'm going to do is jump down to business here. There are 2 things that are like pretty much requirements for me when it comes to my business expenses. One is taxes, because the Etsy money that is given to you is not taxed. So in order to not be up the creek without a paddle, come tax season, I am setting money aside. So I'm doing roughly 25%, 0.25 times 121, that is $30.25. I'm just gonna do $30. And then also my stamps.com membership is $21 a month. My subscription for printing shipping labels. So divided by 4, it's $5.25. So I'm going to do $6. So that is $36 going towards my business expenses. Now, I'm going to take $677, which is our budgetable income, minus $541 minus 36. That gives me $100 left over for my wallet, gas, groceries, miscellaneous, and my sinking funds and my savings. So we're cutting it close. I will acknowledge that, especially considering the things that I need to budget for. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take $35 away. So $30 for gas, because that's just about what it takes for me to fill up my tank. And then $5 for miscellaneous. I just keep 5 ones in there just in case I need them. Now, this week in particular, when it comes to groceries, if you didn't know, I donate plasma, and I get paid for donating plasma. So I get $40 or $45 per donation, depending on which one it is throughout the week. And I donate twice a week. So with that being said, I don't incorporate that money into the budget. I can't pull it out in cash. It's on a card. I think I might be able to, there's no chip on it, so I can't bring it through an ATM. I don't really know how it works to get cash off of it, but I'm not concerned about that. So for me, that is the money that I plan on using this week for groceries. So I'm not going to budget any money for groceries this week. That's not normal for me. And obviously that's not a normal, relatable budgeting tactic, I guess. But for this week, for me specifically, that's going to work. So $35 is going to go into my wallet for spending for the week. Now, when it comes to the last two categories here, my savings challenge and bridesmaid. So I am getting my hair done. I have a wedding that I am in. Austin and I are both in on August 30th. We leave on the 29th, and on the 28th, I am getting my hair done actually by the same stylist that's doing the hair and makeup for the wedding, which is awesome. I found her through the bride, and I've been going to her consistently. Absolutely love her. Shout out Courtney. Definitely go to her if you're in the area. But with that being said, I got my hair done a while ago and I went dark, and it's kind of faded over time. So I'm just kind of want to refresh that, go dark again right before the wedding so it's nice and fresh. So that's going to be around $200 after tip. And that's a good tip. I think it's like $155. So I don't necessarily have to get up to 200, but I'd like to. I love her and she does amazing work. So I'm planning on budgeting $60 a week. That'll be $180 plus what I already have in there. So that is $60 going there. We have $5 left. And for my savings challenge, I do have a slot. I'm currently doing my own savings challenge, but it is a yearly savings challenge. So every single month has a different amount to save, and it has 4 slots on it. It's linked in the description of every video if you're interested, and you'll see it in my cash stuffings. But this month there is a $5 slot, and we have $5 left. So that is what I'm going to budget for that. Now, I'm quickly going to throw this in there again. 738 minus 61 is 677. Minus 35, 541, 65, and 36 gives me $0, which is the zero-based budget method, meaning that there is no money left over. Every single dollar that we made has a purpose, has a job, has a place, and it is being put in that place. So it's designated for a specific category, and that is where it goes. We're not spending it. We're not leaving it in a bulk checking account or savings account and then just spending it willy-nilly and kind of hoping and praying that by the end of the month we have what we need. We are designating it now to ensure that we have what we need at the end of the month. So that is how I budget my paychecks, especially at the beginning of the month. We are starting fresh for August. Join me tomorrow for our Cash Stuffing Tuesday for our first cash stuffing of the month. I will be separating this $677 between the full-time job and the Etsy paycheck. So we'll do a pretty small business cash stuffing on Thursday and then the majority of it tomorrow. So stick around for that. And yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, please don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up. Leave a yellow heart in the comments to show your support for the channel. And of course, subscribe. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for Cash Stuffing Tuesday, Thursday for Cash Stuffing, for Thankful Thursday. And then over the weekend, we'll see. I still have that Tri-Trades box that I need to get uploaded. It's just been sitting on my computer waiting to be edited. So we'll see. Another big shout out, happy birthday to all of the August birthdays. If today's your birthday, happy birthday. Yesterday, tomorrow, every single day this month, happy birthday. And yeah, with all that being said, thank you so much for sticking around with me. And I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day, week, month, year. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.